sharks, for example. Like, people would generally often kind of be assumed like sharks are terrifying creatures. They're very scary. More people have been killed by like cattle than they have been by sharks. Like, that is something that people might not realise.
About 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. But how much attention do we give to our oceans when we're thinking about climate change? I'm Evie Kenny, and you're very welcome to our YouTube version of Ecolution, RTÉ Junior Radio's podcast all about protecting our environment. We've covered an incredible range of subjects, from fast fashion to forest bathing, bikes to bees, and back again. So head over to your podcast platform of choice to catch up on all of our episodes. Today, we're dipping our toe into the world of marine life. If you feel all at sea about what can be done to protect our oceans and their inhabitants, never fear. Our panel is here to help you chart the right course. So let's meet them.
Hi, I'm David Ryder, and I'm part of the Children and Young People's Assembly on Biodiversity Loss.
Hi, I'm Mara Sheridan, and I'm part of the ISSN.
Hi, I'm Arjun Gambhir. I'm 16 years old, and I'm part of FICO UNESCO.
Hi, my name is Dana Mann-Lagnit. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a climate ambassador.
So to kick off our discussion, let's start with David. How often do you consider the sea in relation to your climate action?
Well, to start off, I live in Mayo, really close to the sea. Like, the sea's just out, like, quite literally on our back door. You can see it from it, and I consider a lot. Like, my aunt works in the Marine Institute in Furness, which is near like Balmulla, I think. Apologies if I've gotten that wrong. But no, I'd consider a lot because it is responsible for so much. Like, it's the algae that grows in the oceans is responsible for absorbing so much of the greenhouse gases that like our factories and our countries would produce. Like, the oceans like fed people for like thousands of years with like fishing and the natural resources from it. I'd consider it probably to be one of the most important things. Like, it's 70% of our planet, and it's like been there since like the start.
Amazing. And Mara, your name actually means of the sea in Irish, I believe.
It does, yeah.
So how big of a role does ocean life play in your activism?
It's massive. I've always had a huge affinity to the sea. Obviously, my name, and I'm from Wexford, which is a coastal county. And so I just have super fond memories of it. And yeah, I was actually watching David Attenborough's new documentary, and he said that like, he's nearly 100 years old, and he's realised that at this point, like, it's actually not, the most important part is actually the life in sea, not on land, because of like, the sea's like such a massive like carbon basin, and like such diverse biodiversity in it. And in my life, like, I love water sports. I love sailing and swimming, and you're not going to be able to enjoy it if it's not healthy and thriving. And you know, we've massive like fishing in Ireland as well, and that's going to be huge trouble if it's overfished. So
thank you for that. And Dana, do you think we consider marine life enough when we're talking about climate change?
To be honest, I really don't think that people consider marine life enough. For example, myself, I'm a huge activist. I do lots of stuff for the environment, but generally I wouldn't really consider the sea. But, I do think that it is important that we do consider the sea because, like you said, it takes up 71% of our planet. So many species live in the sea, and we rely on it so much for fishing, for water sports, for tourism. So it is really important that we do consider the sea, especially with all the problems it's been facing with regards to plastic pollution, etc. So.
Thank you. And Arjun, how often does the sea come into your thoughts about the climate crisis?
Ever since we were hunter-gatherers, we started to fish, and we used all the sea creatures as a way for us to survive. And now we are polluting the same as well. So I believe it's highly important to raise awareness among the youth and among the entire population, that we have to make sure that we provide the ocean the same way that they did when we needed it.
Of course, have to care for it, seeing as it's given us so much. So the ocean plays, as we all said, a crucial role in our world, absorbing a whopping 90% of the heat trapped in the Earth's climate system. And we have a listener question on this.
Hi, I'm Emma. I am in 3rd class. I am 9 years old, and I'm in Gael School Lion. What part has the sea and the coast played in your life?
Arjun, are you the ocean person?
Well, to be honest, I used to live near a coastal area when I was just 6 years old. And I remember my dad and my mom used to take me to beaches every Sunday. So that's a really fond memory of mine. We used to play various games on the beach. And now seeing all these beaches and especially the oceans being ruined by all the plastic waste and all the industrial waste, it really breaks my heart to see such a great biodiversity being broken down. So I believe we should definitely make sure that we are doing lesser of what we are not supposed to, and more towards be inclined more towards saving the ocean for a better cause, and making sure that our future generations are also able to enjoy the ocean the same way that we did when we were young.
Thank you. And Dana, do you spend much time by the sea?
I would, yeah. Living in Donegal, there are so many gorgeous beaches, and especially during the summer and right now, like when it's hot, we go to the beach a lot. And I think for me, just going to the beach, especially on the Wild Atlantic Way, and just standing on the beach and looking out at the sea and how it nearly touches the sky, and it just is a really great reminder of how vast our world actually is. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And Mara, how much time do you spend on the coast?
Recently, I went on my end of year school trip to Kirklow Beach, and we're so lucky to have that where I'm from. And it's just so much fun with your friends. It's just so beautiful. And we have a lot of coastal rehabilitation programs happening there now because of the erosion due to rising sea levels and all of that. And yeah, I also, I would do sailing in the summer. I saved up to do it when I was 13. I was like, I need to do this. And it's just amazing. And you're just out in the sea and with the wind, and it's great to learn about how it works. And yeah, it's a really massive role in my life.
Amazing. And David, do you get to spend much time by our shorelines?
I would say, no, definitely I do. Like just last week we had our sports day. Last part of that we went down to the beach just like to do our tug of war and stuff. Even just remembering like childhood as well, we'd often go to the beach like on a Sunday depending on the weather. I've had like birthdays where we do a Clew Bay cruise, which would literally just go around the Clew Bay in Westport, Mayo, and it's really interesting because like it gives you history of it, but it also tells you as well you'd often see like seals and stuff. And then even like our farm as well, like Dad would have an island where he'd bring like sheep and cattle out to as well to graze, and I've been on it like once or twice I think, and I've seen seals on that as well, and it's just like quite literally down by like on our doorstep, so it's always been like accessible as well.
It's so lovely to see that the sea is such a crucial part in all of your lives. So there is a goal that we've discussed previously on Ecolution, a goal agreed internationally to protect 30% of our oceans by 2030. That means designating large sections of our water as marine protected areas. So my next question is, what protection should we place on our oceans and why? Let's kick this off with Mara.
There's been some good progress with like banning on like trawling deep in the sea, and some like, you know, fishing quotas and things, and that's been really helpful in Ireland. But you know, there is some controversy because it is people's livelihoods, so the government has to really be careful on how they carry that out. But something like normal things even people can do is wearing reef safe sun cream. And because there's like two chemicals normally in sun cream, and they can really contribute to coral bleaching and like genetic deformation. And they're just like, the reefs are so important, and you might not think we have them, but we do have them in Ireland. And definitely not bringing like single-use plastic to the beach as well. It's really just normal things we can all do.
Yeah, so much individual action that can take place. So Arjun, what are your thoughts on the protections that we place on our oceans, and are they enough?
So I feel like there needs to be a bit more youth involvement with the oceans, because we are the same population who are going to get into the work field, and we are going to run this world basically. So I believe there needs to be various more cohorts by the schools as well as by various youth agencies or youth organizations that like us, that regularly take initiatives to clean the beach, to be able to create new inventions, be able to clean the ocean in a wider aspect. So there needs to be a bit more awareness among the youth to be able to create more awareness, to be able to create more inventions in the same. Needs to be a bit more activities as well as for the students to create a sense of importance for the ocean. So, apart from the youth involvement, I see the government of Ireland doing really wonders with cleaning the ocean as well as, and as with the fishing quotas as well, we are trying to minimize the fishing quotas, but yet not being able to meet with the EU quotas were the same. And I believe it's kind of fair as well, because as Mara said, that it's livelihood of a lot of people, and it's a major part of Ireland's economy, considering that we are an island economy. So there needs to be really more prohibition being to be created, which should be carefully selected, keeping in mind the livelihood of all the other economies, our own economy, and all the other people who live near the coastal areas, and while making sure that the ocean also remains sustainable.
Yeah, very well said. And David, do you think we're doing enough for our oceans?
Simply put, I'd say not really. Just recently, well, not recently, but a while ago, anyways. When the beaches near our where I live, Bertrand, they lost their blue flag status because there was a lot of, I think it was animal dung around, just from dogs and pets. And then there was also as well a lot of litter around, which is something that is serious, because yes, there's fines, but it's not people are always going to get caught, because it's not necessarily there's security cameras on every single beach. And kind of as similar as what Tamara was saying, even it's often really just those small simple things that do the most damage.
Thank you. I'll come to you now, Dana. What's the next step we need to take to protect our seas?
I think definitely increasing marine protected areas would be a great step to take, and definitely habitat restoration, especially in certain areas where there's a lot of tourism, as it sometimes due to litter and just general human traffic, it can really destroy the environment.
Thank you all so much. So we have another listener question, but I'm not sure we'll have a clear answer to it, but it'll be worth discussing anyways.
Hi, I'm Sheikha. I'm 9 years old. I go to Step Aside Educate Together National School. I have the best teacher ever, and my question is, how can we keep the sea free from litter that could harm sea animals? And if you look behind me, there are Safe to Sea posters.
Of course, our seas are teeming with so much incredible aquatic life, and the waste that gets into our water courses wind up in the ocean. Dana, do you see the protection of animal life as something that we're getting right?
I think in a lot of ways we are, but in other ways we really aren't. There's been a huge decrease in biodiversity, especially in sort of urban neighborhoods as well. And at the beach, there's so much litter in certain areas, especially with that many people visit, and especially bin maintenance in certain areas has not been very good. Certain bins are getting run down, knocked over, and the wind blows all the plastic into the beach. So even if people do try to put their litter in the bins aren't being very well maintained, so the litter ends up in the sea and hurting animals. So.
Yeah, and Arjun, what are your thoughts on how we protect our oceans, flora and fauna?
So I feel like we are improving drastically compared to 10 years before on how we are improving both flora and fauna. There are various initiatives which have been taken out by the government as well as various youth organizations to protect the plastic wastes and overall littering on the beaches. But another big cause which is causing loss in biodiversity in the oceans is a lot of multinational companies and a lot of factories are depositing all the industrial waste in the oceans. So I believe there needs to be more quotas or more regulations set on that, because Ireland right now is a hub for all the MNCs and all such factories, which conveniently they like to create the placement of the factories near the coastal area. So it's easier for one, the shipping, and second, for industrial deposition. So I feel like there needs to be more tight laws over these MNCs while making sure that there's a sense of advantage in both the cases, in both the sides. Apart from that, there's a lot of new ways to remove littering which has already been in the ocean, such as there has been ways a search group which are trying to attract all the plastic from the ocean through different inventions and different measures.
Thank you. And Mara, do you think we're doing enough to care for our ocean's inhabitants?
Yeah, it's not really been a priority. But like, I guess another thing you could do that I haven't already said earlier would be kind of sustainably sourcing if you eat fish. So definitely like making sure that you get it from ethical sources and to vary the types of fish you eat so that there's not a huge demand for like, say, cod or something like that. But yeah, it's just really important to consider every aspect of the environment.
Thank you. And David, what more could we do to help our fish and ocean mammals?
Something that I think a lot of people aren't 100% like may not know is that often line fishing is done with like even things which just like have hundreds of harpoons. They're all fired in at once that spear like multiple fish at once, and these can often damage other animals that are around. And as well as that, just kind of being aware that like say even sharks, for example, like people would generally often kind of be assumed like sharks are terrifying creatures, they're very scary. But like people probably do need to be aware as well that like that is their habitat and they are quite naturally curious animals, and more people have like killed like sharks. More people have been killed by like cattle than they have been by sharks. Like that is something that people might not realize. And that's something I think that people do need to kind of realize, that these creatures aren't like monsters that are out to kill you. These things would much prefer something faster like a seal. But like it's not just that as well. Again, as Mara said, litter as well. Like there's actually surprisingly so much litter at like the bottom of like ocean trenches. Like even there's litter reached like the bottom of the Mariana Trench, which is like 10 kilometers deep. And that's concerning once you think of it. Like there's litter so far down that it's all the way down there where we can't even like survive.
Thank you so much. So there's so much to think about there when it comes to the health of our oceans and marine life. Thanks so much to today's panellists, David, Dana, Mara and Arjun. I'm Evie Kenny, and once again, this is the YouTube version of RTÉ Junior Radio's climate and nature podcast, Ecolution, which you can listen to wherever you get your podcasts. If you have any questions or thoughts you'd like to share with us about any marine-related eco efforts, drop us a line via email. We're junior@rte.ie. I'm Evie Kenny, and I'll see you again soon.